Life is it's like a bridge. When you're looking for bridges, right? You want to get through. It should be a bridge. It should be crossing from one side to the other. Right? Right, boss? So this is a big psycho schematic headline of the day, right? And I don't know if you noticed, but we're gonna do two things at once. Bill Mollison says in the Permaculture Design Manual, in his observation of nature, that every installation, every action should serve two or more purposes, right? And that doing those two or more purposes on a regular basis and thinking that way is truly a way to get closer to the way nature thinks and applies itself. And certainly stronger method, right? As a cultivator, I can tell you we came here to get strong, all of us, plant species, our souls, all these little stages of intelligence. They're supposed to get stronger and ready to step into the next stage of intelligence. That's what nature's showing us, right? We stopped paying attention to that nature thing. But Einstein tells us to pay deep attention to nature to understand everything better. Also, that adaptability is the greatest measure of intelligence, right? And I've been enjoying my adaptation to this. Not everybody can be a professional cowboy, though. And it's not what I do all year round. I believe in diverse adversity. You know, adverse diversity, right? Like, follow, and subscribe. Share with someone for a mental upgrade. And if you want to have an epic dawn that's somewhere close to that one, go to epicdawn.org. Get yourself some South American coffee. I'm coming to you from Central America today. But you can also check me out personally at Brandon Angel Fitness on Instagram. There's web links there. I do the fitness thing for you all the travel Jedi out there, right? That really find there's a increased quality of life, cognitive ability, you know, quality of life. Adventure is your life. Get some adventure, right? And traveling, or maybe tending to not just one basket of eggs, but 4 or 5. I've found I really like the number 5 right now as far as cultivating new situations. Well, spend 20 days in each one. They're not too far apart. Make some progress. Do some diverse work. Hopefully walk away with some diverse, assets and land farming projects. I'm really adapting to nature to understand everything better. That's all I want to do, and I recommend that for you, at least the Vision Quest. Get a cabin rental. Click the links below. Get a cabin rental and do the nutritional diversity diet. Those of you who are suffering PTSD, there's a lot of us out here now. Something there. Moving right along. So right now, kind of watching this TPUSA, right? Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk organization, and Candace Owens for president is married to truth as she always is, right? And she's got plenty to say about how, and also my other hero, Anti-Alienation Project, the Psy-op unveiler, masteress, right? I just support people, nobody can do that anymore. That's one of the many ways you can make yourself a rare diamond. You know, a valiance, honor, and not insanely inflated ego. Look at that mist. You gotta love. It's about 6:30. Yeah. Early bird gets the worm. Owns the trail. Right? Has the most beautiful sunrise to look at. Does their daily routine. You know, I get up at 2:30. I say it all the time. I get up at 2:30, no later than 3:30. And I meditate and I pray and I read the greats and I do some burpees and I do some journaling and I take some deep ponder. Sometimes I do a mastermind with some other guys on this the dedicated self-development journey. And I tell you what, there is no higher road, man. There is no, if you are not engaged in dedicated self-development, you're making a big mistake, because it's an excellent opportunity to become a Jedi of life, upgrade that navigational computer, and run, ride, swim, talk, stumble, even circles around everybody else. And that's really, really a huge, true opportunity. But you got to be married to honesty. See, most psychology channels, they don't go this deep. You got to be married to honesty. You have to earn that polar opposite of one of these prince and princesses of deception that are everywhere. You know, it's 4 out of 5 cats. I bet it's 9 out of 10 cats. I bet it's 99 out of 100 cats right now that are full of it. And the devil won on them. And when you're full of it, you're definitely not in your destiny path. If you listen to somebody who's full of it, you're definitely not in your destiny path. So I gotta beat this course corrective regular drum here at the beginning of the episode. You know, if you're not doing everything you need to do to be a pure human being yourself and see around corners and see through the BS, and at least be able to categorize things as I don't know, and not be weaponized by some shit that you don't know, that was made to weaponize you. All right, back to the TPUSA. So she's talking about how healing needs freedom. Excellent point. All life should be existing to enhance other life. That means the freedom of other life and the nutrition of other life. The information, the whatever, you know, the inputs. So we should all output into another input. Win-win situations, as Napoleon Hill writes in the bestseller, Think and Grow Rich. Win-win situations. There's no need for win-win-lose situations. If you're involved in win-win-lose situations, we could just already right there say you're distracted from the truth, because your highest operable self would be capable, intelligent, and strong enough to find the win-win situation, even in a debaucherously losery situation created by losers who want to see other people lose, not winners who want to see them win. And that's what we have to weed out. As winners that want to see people win, our only true mistake has been to allow the losers that want to see people lose to exist. You know, I say it all the time, right? There's all kinds of stuff in what was interesting is also that Maddi points out, you know, these elephant in the rooms, these norms that we just accept. It's just like, you know, it shows how clear their agenda is, that they're controlling, you know, see one of our counselors if you're having a hard time, that Erica Kirkus is rolling right through this, taking up the seat, no time of mourning. It's disgusting to these other valiant women who have channels of valiance and honesty. You heal in nature too. Freedom. This is true freedom right here. Escape from the matrix almost completely. Right there. Right there. And you just, oh, that's crazy talk, some of you will say. So, let's see, here we go. Finding the right place in a rotted tree to hold the phone sometimes can take a second. Well, let's keep it right there. Oh, that's artistic, man. I'm kind of liking that. Actually, bang. How do you like me now? Yeah, so they're controlling the treatments. They're saying, get back to work. They're basically weaponizing grief. You know, we're dissecting this. We're pointing out all these little things. There, the two, Maddi and Candace, right? And I'll put links below to both of their presentations, which are really good and really necessary. Like, how do you just let this go on? How does 50 Cent's oldest kid out here on the damn TV with parental alienation written all over him, the extreme psychological child abuse written all over him, and his mother's not being chased down? You know what I mean? David Goggins is hero to everybody, but not to his own daughter because of extreme psychological abuse. These women should be in jail. Bang. You abuse your kid, direct the X and get the checks. We know what it is. We're not a stupid society that just lives with this shit, that accepts your false accusations and your destruction of this man just so you could feel grandiose and get paid and enslave him and show him how this is what you get for leaving me in most of these cases. You know, they know. The parasite knows he's a superstar. They set him up. They fucking trap him. Then he's like, fuck this crazy bitch. He goes off. I want freedom, right? Anyways, but the government, we can't do that. Or excuse me, the people, we can't do that. We're sick of your conflicts. We don't want to be in any of this stuff. I don't know. So maybe some of the stuff's going on. We don't have control. There's no, hey, no. There's no levers to pull, right, for us. So what does that mean? You carve it out of your right. You're distracted from something you do have. You've been divinely called. Something you've been divinely called to address. You're not addressing because you've been distracted by this drama, this deception, this distraction. It's all the same thing. It's not even real. And it always comes with all these imaginary evils and fear, right? And it's not real. And we keep finding this out over and over. And then we find out that these fear-mongers that are like, well, naysayers that have programmed everybody to be the same thing, we find out, oh, wait a minute. What? They caused the distraction. Anti-narcissism.org, the Kia Carlberg genius. See, I'm really just a student of nature myself. I truly am. That's all I am, is a student of nature. I'm your fellow journeyman. I'm not coming to you as a guru. It just so happens, though, that I overcame someone kidnapping my child, and she was completely lost to me, downgraded to descriptive terms I really don't want to use anymore, even, but it's just so heartbreaking. But yeah, completely lost to me, kidnapped, brainwashed by people on meth and alcohol that call themselves better parents than me. The parasites that latched onto the superstar that was me. We've got parasites that latch onto the country. Yeah. Well, you can't do anything about that. But what you can do is these situations that are right next to you. You can get out of the grass is greener on the other side syndrome and say there's no small roles. I'm here right now. What's the big, valiant, honest thing that I need to do to atomically transform and realign me into my best version who does the right thing against the hardest evils. There's plenty of evils out here. I'm challenging you specifically in this video to pick an evil and do good. There's evil agriculture. That's really messed up stuff, man. And so I choose to do alternative, beautiful agriculture. And look at my healthy beasts. You know, show that to a cattle rancher. You know, and that cattle rancher is gonna say, oh yeah, wow, look at the skin. Look at the health all over that animal. You know, those are some of the most health. That doesn't even almost look real. That almost looks as if AI generated it. That's what that is. Little drone. Too cool, man. It's begun. It has begun. But see, now, people don't believe me when I tell them we've already started the AI farming models. My guy was doing his farming checks over there with the drone. A lot of guys out here are so lazy. They'll have heads of cattle and out of a fence will go down. But I require all my checks be done daily. We got dailies, we got weekly. We do such a much more disciplined, high operable system by itself. People don't even know the inner mechanics of it. They can just see from afar, whoa, these guys are next level. And before that, we revolutionized the whole area. People were like, what are you doing? How do we do it? We want to do what you're doing, you know? So what's up, man? See that? The future is here. Do you want to be a part of it? Links below, we can get you in. Okay, so yeah, it's disgusting what's going on with the TPUSA people, right? For sure. And they've weaponized this huge thing, you know, and really, just as much as we can do an excellent job and motivate other people to do excellent jobs, you can do slime ball stuff. And if it wins in front of all these young people, they're gonna be thinking, oh man, this is just, it's a heartless norm that we live in. So we'll just be heartless too. And they convince you to be soulless and soulless and soulless with, right, just these little kind of cultural cues. Yes, there's an evil. Yes, there's a devil. He's done an excellent job, man. I get off the airplane and I'm in an adult Disneyland, overpriced but duty-free place. It's nothing but bottles of liquor, smell goods, and chocolate. You can't even get like raw snack nuts and trail mix anymore. It's just pure sugar everywhere. Down here in Latin America, it's got the most best diet potential you've ever seen, but a worse slave diet culture than we have up in the north as the mainstream. But we, not us, we prepare feasts for kings and queens like they've never feasted before. Seriously. And we do a good job at it. We're the Spears Tip, nutritionaldiversity.com. You know, what I'm telling you is there's another option. There's a whole physical schematic. You go to the gym, you can clear out your head, right? You come live out here, you liquidate. You won't believe what you could liquidate up there to get tons down here. I'm trying to just give you an example of other options, you know, of other options. Yes, we do have turnkey deals ready right now. and you're not baller until you got your own agriculture. And I mean, you would want to work with the spirits tip like me, young, talented, creative people, excellent health, you know, excellent character. Ain't that right? Right? And yet we're really doing guerrilla permaculture that was published in even the Paris Agreement. Not joking. We've been tons of different science journals. United Nations Food and Agriculture has published our stuff. A few of those people is crazy, that whole story. Anyway, back to the TPUSA thing. We really have to appreciate Chase Hughes, Richard Grant, and Anti-Alienation Project, Candace Owens, these Psy-op, these false claim, Tulsi Gabbard, right? These false claim exposers. And listen, I don't get into politics. They're all liars as far as I'm concerned. And you have to categorize things correctly. The very first correct categorization, once again, being if you don't have levers to pull in it, you can't get stuck there. Can you realize this disgusting psyops, evil agendas, and everybody's all for self? Their husband don't mean nothing to them. Most of these women just want to wreck the ex and get the checks. They know that they're gonna trap this guy, take him to the cleaner, have an easy life, and at the end, if they don't like what's going on, they'll wreck the ex to get the checks. How do we live in a culture like that? How did we let it get? How much more sick of a precedent of culture can you possibly be? You know what I mean? Don't get married. Don't do that. But get a partnership, not even in a U.S. court, but in a socio-anonymous down here. Pick up land. Ration the assets from the get-go. Do 2 socio-anonymous. Make a good buy. You got your hex, he's got his, whatever. Right? Now you're smart. No, but seriously, little bit, you know, divide up the take as you go. You know, start being front-ended. Start realizing people ain't that genuine. And when you do find genuine people, that's a diamond right there. You know what I mean? Do not let that thing go. But don't do it in a shady way. Do it in a good way, you know? The natural woman, you could build a house. This shows you inflation right here. You build a house like that for 10K. Right? You can get that piece of land to go with it, or the one that it's on to go with it. You can't see it as well. 30K for the whole thing. Right? Ridiculous. Put some cows. Got your little plan B. Right? Start doing some diverse agriculture species that only us and the spirit tip do. Then look at you. You got 300 different species and you sell directly to the private chef or whatever, oligarchical. All right? So whatever. Anyway, there's all kinds of different options. That's what I'm trying to show you. There's all kinds of different perspectives. You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be like these greasy, freaking heartless, soulless people. And I'm telling you, and you know, I'm famous on here already, I think, for 500 people or so, 600, 700 people or so, on going beyond psychology just a little bit. And it's just like, listen, the natural world given to us, created by the Creator, and devotion to the Creator. The name Jesus Christ, those are the only 2 mouth sounds that really hold weight in this world. You know what I mean? That hold serious weight in this world. Holy moly. You know? And I know that through personal experience. And so, you know, let's pray in that name. Let's be good in that name. Let's do the work. It's not going to happen for you. Nobody's gonna, that's not what we came here for. We came here to get strong, as I was saying. You didn't get here to be babied into an annoying crybaby, although that does happen to people. And then they're victims of everything. They say, oh, listen, I've had one of the most unfortunate lives. And all I do is get up to gratitude. I'm so lucky and blessed to be here. There's so many more unfortunate lives than mine, you know. But the thing that I'm most proud about is that I overcame my challenges. I didn't accept them in and install them. Those are green parrots right there. The ones that talk. So it's like, you know, I stayed true no matter how dishonest everybody else was. I escaped the conflict no matter how conflictive everybody else was. You know, I actually, you know, people can do things to you, you know, torture you with your child, their child, just insane things. My friend Aaron Roberts just died from the Schematic right there. Well known, they know exactly what they're doing. It's a witchcraft blueprint, you could say. Very, very standardized, easy to recognize. But it's funny, those that are under the spell, if it's been pushed on them from years in an environment that's been controlled, yeah, that's why this TPUSA thing is actually really good to pay attention to and break down. Because when you see that they've executed this insane controlled environment and all their charity stuff is lies, they promised hats and gave 75% bracelets instead. Just little shit like that. I remember my kid's mom took her to Walmart and was asking for donations off her head, running some fake raffle. I did some shit like that when I was 12. You know, it's just like when you've got adults running just blatant scams and their integrity doesn't hold up to simple things, you know, like that. And they fall short, but they still act like they're the good guy. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And this is the low, horrible, sensationalist bullshit that all mouth-servicing politicians are. So you can't affect it. All you can do is exit the Psy-op yourself, not donate your money, not let it rip your attention away from what you're really supposed to be helping. That's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face somewhere. You know? There's something that you're supposed to be doing that's good, but your time was spent on something that's not. Right? Just make you think about how you spend your time. You know? You should be making genuine relationships with the genuine people. And people that are deceiving just for some kicks, power, control, attention, you know, to have a bunch of little minions, and they like to run their minions, and they're not gonna even mourn their husband, but just run the minions and run the agenda. It's a psychopath, you know. They got no heart. Man, my friend Aaron Roberts, who was just taken out by the it's really true, you know, the witch cutting him off from his kid. Same thing that took me out, but my life was saved by a problem child, but I'm still by that person. You know, I'm gonna cut her off. She didn't brainwash or lie to any kids, so. But buenos días. Boy, like, man, I was messed up. I was really, that first week it's like she was preloaded. It really is, it's creepy. Just to be that hardened to where you can just, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe some people grieve different. Some people just stay hard at work. I know a lot of people that have stayed hard at work, right? But yeah, when I lost my buddy, I'm pretty empathetic. I went and lived in nature for 7 years, guys. No bank account, no phone, just got up early, did a bunch of burpees, and then shovel, machete, whatever, all day, working on myself. Because I actually was trespassed against enough that I was supposed to kill a whole bunch of people. Boo! But I went to the jungle, so I didn't, to make sure that I didn't, because that's all I just. So we know Palantir pre-crime. We know I could even have my kid kidnapped and brainwashed to hate me by a bunch of meth head, Jerry Springer people, and I'm not gonna do anything wrong. I'll go out into the jungle to make sure that I don't do anything wrong. That I hold my commitment to Jesus Christ. And I'm not even sure if I'm doing that. I think Jesus Christ is actually probably a real tough guy. And he really did just care about the people that were really messed up. And I think he did say a lot of things about sword in hand. And you may have to do something. You definitely defend yourself. And, he got all this Jedi training his whole life, according to, right? So, anyway, I don't know what makes that kind of example. I could never try to stand next to that. But I'm gonna do what I can to be as bright and shining and large bandwidth down in the gutters with the people who are really on the path, not these faker hijacker people like Erica Kirk. You know what I mean? And it's so true. It's just like, man, when I was messed up when Aaron Roberts died. That shit took the air right out of the ball. And there was these other guys, man, that would just started sensationalizing and getting dramatic and making it about them in our burpee group. And it was just like, I don't know. It was like, and it's always the fakest fucking one of the bunch that you knew was fucking so fake from way back when. You know what I mean? And it's just self-serving. Listen, guys, we're all under a Psy-op. We're all fighting the selfish disease. We're all under the Psy-op. But when it's got too far to where you can't support other people and it's got to be your thing every fucking time. And your thing sometimes, and these people will have their thing kind of oriented to something that's far from what we're even doing. So it's just like, well, let's just create an our thing. A torch passing council thing. But then they're like, okay, but in the back of their head, they're secretly like, okay, we'll just call it that, but this is really my thing. It's crazy. It's a crazy syndrome that everybody's got. And nobody can support anybody who's small, but they can support the celebrities. That is fucking scary. And you're learning about Diddy. And you know what I mean? It's just like, so and when I think about my life and how I want to have a quality of life, and if I'm going to come out here and really say the truth, it's just like, no, you need small, tight, highly operable groups that can run circles around the herd, tag the buffalo that are ripe, okay? That's what it is, man, And the herd's going to group up. They're going to be against anybody. And then what does the group do? They remove us from nature. You can, devil or not, whatever, we can speculate and argue on what's behind it. If it's just human nature and da-da-da-da-da. Listen, then it separates us completely from our nature, the biological codependent. Nobody knows anything about that. Even the biologists who come out of the classroom with the iron shirts all fat, talking about how I don't have the same scientific mouth sound some of the guy made up memorized like them, and I don't have some paper from the sterile world like them, that they all qualify me somehow. And then it's time to walk up the hill. And guess who can't do it? Isn't that funny? They can't even apply themselves to what they're so freaking knowledgeable about. Yet they're the experts of it. Wow. Doesn't that sound like pretty much the dynamic we've got? We've got psychopaths running a small percentage of psychopaths, a pretty big percentage actually, because they all work together. And the veins, right? If you're fat and shitty and stupid and depressed, you will be, if you're a product of the Simpsons programming show and you're a Simpson, well, I got a slave job for you. And I know you're a consumer forever. And I know you're not competition ever. And, there's the drunks on one side of the bar and there's the owner on the other. And one of them's laughing. They're both laughing, but one of them's actually progressing and the other ones are degressing. It's a win-lose situation. I would never fucking own a bar. There's so many win-win situations. You don't have to con anybody, as my dad, the most brilliant person I know personally says. And seriously, he really is. Rocket scientist. Incredible backbone. He had 35, I sent him an account with 35K to bait this poor kid out of an abusive situation. And he didn't show it to her as I requested that he did. I was a little bit upset at the beginning, but now I understand, especially when this kid says he has no backup. He didn't do what I asked him to do because he was unimpressed with you and your shit fucking programmed attitude. When you're programmed and all you care about is yourself and you don't even ask about the old man once, you just sit there and talk about yourself the whole time. And you got a wise guy with wild amounts of wisdom, and oh my God. It's so impressive every time he shoots something. It's just like yowzers, And we got this cousin. And she's a con artist, unfortunately. Pop-out kids don't want to work. Let the kids go. They don't want to do anything productive. They just want to be the mouth set. They just want to, they think they've been programmed that by running your mouth and being frantic, you're going to get ahead. You're not going to get ahead. So you cut that person off. He's doing the right thing. You cut that person off. And this is what he says to me. Until they can get a dose of reality. Right? Because you're not helping them by giving them money. You're not helping them by feeding that syndrome. Right? And look, so I'm going to talk about real world life. Let it be known. Mom, you know what I mean? I'm very transparent now that I was made to come on the internet by child abuse. I never wanted to be on the internet. And the only way I'll ever come off of it is if the child abuse stops. And I mean all of it. We're not free until we're all free, right? None of us are free until all of us are free. And that's really what it is, It really is what it is. All right. See that shit? My team works, man. My team works. They don't know that I'm out doing checks right now. I mean, most days I'm not here, very few days I'm around. But my people are doing what they say they're gonna do. And I'm proud of them for that. And I treat them well for that. And I get rid of them if they don't got that. And that's what this is. It's a gardening situation, ladies and gentlemen. This life is a strength and the ability to cultivate strength in your surroundings situation. Where TPUSA is cultivated. Here, check this out. Plants don't have nervous system. Right, you see this? This is called Dermilona. See that? Watch. See how it reacts to the touch there? I'm pretty cool, right? It's got that pink avatar flower bowl. See, I could know if I'm hot on somebody's trail and I'm coming through and those are closed. Super medicinal mint species right here, wild mint species. Most people will walk right by it and not even know. Super strong. Most of the people that live here don't know what it is. Incredibly medicinal. Incredibly medicinal. And when you have 60 to 100 of these living species with the photosynthetic electric process of life in them, and you're eating that all the time, oh, let me tell you about how you beat mental health nutritionally. I told you we would go beyond psychiatry. Psychiatrists are poison. People who have been through hell, those are the diamonds. Formed under pressure, in the coal vein. You know, these experimentalist scientists, all these health professionals are the reason we have a health crisis. These agriculture professionals are the reason that miles and miles of nature is dead, transmutated, religiously sprayed with chemicals today. It's tortured nature. Tortured animal nature, tortured plant nature. If vegans only knew. You know, we are the for plants and animals, a loving cultivation system, and we're spreading that. nutritionaldiversity.com. And you know, this is the most special thing to me, and this channel's doing well, and I wanted to share this on here. This lifestyle here, you know, my compadre here, and how for a lot of people, it's even going, you know, it's going to help you to just get some dogs and get a place in nature, and you've got options, you know, and you can do something new, and again, you can liquidate a struggle up there into a paradise life down here. And so you need to have a wider birth perspective. You can't be controlled and closed off from any information. You want to get as much information. Unconflicted information is more valuable than conflicted information. Watch a Dragnet investigation show or two, right? Find out what hearsay is, stuff like that, and what groups of Jerry Springer people are that control narratives in a whole town, and how far programming can actually go, and what kinds of evil things you'll do being a part of an evil thing, whether you want to call it what it is or call it something else because you're in some sort of denial justification thing. All evildoers are in some denial justification thing. All evil believers, I've noticed, are also in some denial justification thing. You gotta wonder when people really attach themselves to TV show dramas. If they're highly interested in TV show dramas, you know, I know one 90-year-old lady, she just, because down here it's this, you can plug in a coat hanger and have soap operas to the TV still, right? I know this one 90-year-old lady, she reads the Bible all day. I know another one, she reads soap operas all day. The one that reads the Bible all day, she asked me how I'm doing. It's good to see you, right? The one that watches soap opera all day is just bitching and moaning, you know? You pay attention, man. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention. You know, don't just take people's word for shit. If you're just taking people's words for stuff, oh, well, I don't know. Guess who I am for you, right? No, you got to get to those deeper layers, guys, and that's done through getting your hands dirty and digging in and going where you don't want to be going and pressuring people around you to be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but not too much. Otherwise, it's disrespectful narcissism. You're just dominating, you know, and a lot of times people who are doing that, they'll be freaking jacking off to porn religiously or something like that in the background, something dark, but you can justify it away. This is why I'm telling you, just go with clean hands, just clean it up. Don't judge people, be patient with them. Quality people, again, diamonds are formed in the coal vein. They're gonna have a lot of rough edges too for a long time. It is an intricate, artistic process. When a diamond comes out, it's less than beautiful. But when it's cut up, and these people had to know that you could cut that out of there to begin with. And then learn how to masterfully cut that out of there and cut it up. Right? And set it beautifully in golds and platinums. Right? And treat it well because it is so rare and formed under such pressurous environment. So get out there, get yourself some pressure. Adapt to a new place, a complex place, a complex method of thinking, and a new culture, just for the sake that it upgrades your intelligence. And plan B, art of the deal, right? You got to be able to walk away. Sometimes the city, many cities here very soon, much sooner than people think, are going to be requiring so much more from them. And the quality of life is going to drop so significantly for them. And they're already basically prisoners of their home. Right now, people are really just from point A to point B. There's no social movement. There's no Renaissance period. You know, after the plague was the Renaissance period, the most free-thinking, artistic, explosive period. After the Spanish flu was the Roaring 20s, right? And but after the COVID is the what? The nothing. Control freakism more. Heartlessness more. Heartlessness and control freakism more. NutritionalDiversity.com for the full liberation. Guerrilla permaculture. Here's one of my hideouts right here. I got chickens, cows and horses. I got an extra room. It's empty here. I'll show you. Threw that on. That's aftermath. Patio was the first thing I built. Put the materials there. Complete room. Just a bed. Never even opened the door. Yeah. It's one of my project spots, man. Yeah, this right here is a 30K gig right here. This place, about 8K. Because I'm right on the river, this little and inside of a community here, because I wanted to park my bike and have a covered space for the truck and be, actually I'm scouting in this area. I want to pick up some new stuff in this area. I've got stuff ready to go in this area right now. It's just a matter of finding a partner about it, cause or finalizing some liquidations on another end to pick it up. Guys, lots of trade-offs, lots of sacrifices. You're gonna doom scroll, you're gonna pay attention to the news, or you're gonna add those hours to sharpening the internal blade and being a better performer out there when it's game time. All right, and you can also add more game time. Hua, I love you. Let's do this name of Jesus Christ thing right. And dear Lord, in thy name we pray for blessings, that we can see the truth, that we can see the lie. We know knowing is half the battle, but having an idea is blossomless. We have to take action. Please help us to take the hard actions we know we need to take, that everything's waiting on us to take. And help all destinies through by helping our own destiny true. We say these things gratefully, respectfully, lovingly, and thankfully in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.